Welcome, watchers of prophecy and seekers of truth. From wherever you are viewing this momentous revelation, we invite you to join this spiritual journey. Where are you witnessing from today? Share your city in the comments below. This is a historic moment unfolding before our eyes, and we want to know from which corner of the earth you are watching Jerusalem's divine manifestation. Jerusalem awakens to unprecedented crowds today. They come from every nation, drawn by an undeniable spiritual magnetism. The ancient stones of the Western Wall witness a sea of humanity unlike anything seen in modern times. Thousands gather in silent anticipation, their eyes fixed upon the Temple Mount. Something is stirring in the atmosphere. The air itself seems charged with expectation. Observers report an unusual stillness, as if creation holds its breath. Military personnel stand speechless. Journalists lower their cameras in awe. Even skeptics feel the weight of this moment. The faithful who have journeyed from distant lands sense it most acutely. This is no ordinary day in Jerusalem. This is the day the prophets spoke of. The convergence of celestial signs and earthly events has reached its crescendo. We are witnessing history unfold before our eyes as participants in a divine narrative written before time began. The ancient timeline aligns with modern reality in perfect synchronicity. The call resounds through Jerusalem's ancient streets. It begins as a whisper among the gathered masses, then swells into unmistakable certainty. "This is the moment," they declare. Religious leaders who have studied the prophetic texts their entire lives now stand transfixed. The alignment of celestial bodies precisely matches ancient descriptions. The convergence of international tensions creates the exact scenario described by prophets millennia ago. Jerusalem has become the epicenter of global attention, just as foretold. Nations watch. Leaders consult their advisors. Yet beyond political implications lies something far more profound, a spiritual awakening spreading across continents. Technology transmits these moments worldwide, allowing millions to witness what previous generations could only imagine. The call transcends religious boundaries, touching hearts regardless of background. Jewish pilgrims stand alongside Christians, Muslims observe with reverence, secular onlookers find themselves inexplicably moved. This is the fulfillment of humanity's collective spiritual journey. It awakens ancestral memories carried in our very DNA. What we witness today in Jerusalem fulfills prophecies recorded thousands of years ago. The ancient words now manifest with stunning precision. Isaiah spoke of this day. Ezekiel described these events in vivid detail. Daniel's timeline points directly to this moment in history. Zechariah foresaw the nations gathering, their attention fixed on Jerusalem. The mathematical probability of such precise fulfillment defies rational explanation. Scholars who dedicated lifetimes to these texts now stand vindicated. Their interpretations, once dismissed as mystical fantasies, now unfold on international news channels. Ancient calendars align with mathematical precision. Astronomical configurations match prophetic descriptions exactly. The restoration of Israel itself, a nation reborn after 2 millennia of exile, stands as the most visible fulfillment. No other displaced people has ever maintained identity through millennia, then returned to re-establish their ancient homeland, the ingathering from every corner of earth, the revival of a dead language, the transformation of desert into fertile land. Each element fulfills specific prophecies with astonishing accuracy. It happens now, before our eyes. Not in some distant future, but in present reality. The veil between worlds grows thin over Jerusalem today. Witnesses report phenomena defying scientific explanation. Unusual light formations hover above the Temple Mount. Acoustic anomalies, sounds with no discernible source, ripple through the gathered crowds. Military surveillance equipment captures unexplainable readings. Electromagnetic fluctuations disrupt communications. Weather patterns shift dramatically over the Holy City. The atmosphere feels charged with tangible presence. This convergence happens now, in our lifetime, in our generation. We are not merely studying history, we are witnessing its pivotal moment. Those present feel the weight of privilege and responsibility. Future generations will study their testimony. "What did you see?" they will ask. "What did you feel when the prophet's words came alive?" The present moment stretches into eternity, connecting past revelations with future glory. The people's voice rises as one from Jerusalem's ancient hills. Prayers in countless languages form a harmonious chorus that transcends linguistic barriers. Orthodox Jews sway at the Western Wall, their supplications intensifying. Christian pilgrims kneel in reverent worship. Muslims offer devotions with unprecedented fervor. The voices unite despite theological differences. Pilgrims who journeyed thousands of miles weep openly. Elderly survivors who witnessed Israel's rebirth now behold its prophetic destiny. Young seekers find answers to questions they struggled to articulate. Spontaneous singing erupts in scattered locations, each group somehow harmonizing with others despite distance. Many report sensing ancestral presence, as if generations past somehow participate in this moment. Others describe overwhelming sensations of divine love enveloping the gathering. The human response transcends religious formality, breaking into authentic spiritual connection. What theology often complicates, this moment clarifies with crystalline simplicity. The voice of the people becomes the voice of humanity itself, crying out for cosmic completion. The shofar sounds across Jerusalem's ancient landscape. Its primal call echoes between stone walls that have witnessed millennia of human history. Not one trumpet but hundreds sound simultaneously from different locations. The coordination happens without human planning, yet achieves perfect synchronicity. The ancient ram's horn, instrument of biblical significance, announces cosmic shift. This sound once brought down Jericho's walls. This sound heralded Israel's most sacred moments. According to tradition, it will announce the final redemption. Today it pierces the spiritual atmosphere with undeniable authority. The acoustic properties generate frequencies that affect human consciousness at primal levels. Scientists have documented its impact on brainwave patterns. The shofar's call cuts through intellectual barriers, speaking directly to the soul. Those hearing it report immediate clarity of perception. The sound travels impossibly far, reported in locations miles from any actual instrument. Recordings capture harmonics not normally produced by these instruments. The shofar speaks of transition from one spiritual epoch to another. It announces the closing of one chapter in human history and the opening of another. Its voice declares that prophecy has become present reality. Jerusalem remembers through living stones. This city carries memory in its very substance, in layers of archaeology stacked like chapters of divine narrative. Today's events echo patterns established thousands of years ago: the first temple dedication under Solomon, the second temple restoration under Zerubbabel. Each historic moment foreshadowed today's fulfillment. Jewish families recite ancient blessings unchanged for 3,000 years. Christian pilgrims trace the steps of Jesus through streets physically identical to those he walked. The convergence of three faiths sharing common ancestral roots creates unique spiritual resonance. Jerusalem remembers the Babylonian conquest. Jerusalem remembers Roman destruction and diaspora. Jerusalem remembers centuries of exile and longing. Jerusalem remembers the miraculous rebirth of Israel against impossible odds. The participants themselves embody living memory. Holocaust survivors, who witnessed humanity's darkest hour, now behold prophetic light. Immigrants who arrived when Israel was reborn now see its spiritual destiny unfold. Veterans who defended Jerusalem in existential wars now witness its central role in cosmic purpose. The ancient festival calendar aligns perfectly with today's events, creating temporal resonance across millennia. The spiritual impact radiates globally from Jerusalem's epicenter. Reports flood in from every continent describing simultaneous phenomena. Prayer gatherings spontaneously form without coordination. Individuals experience profound revelations while completely unaware of Jerusalem's events. The impact transcends religious boundaries, touching those with no spiritual background. Hardened skeptics find themselves inexplicably moved to tears. Scientists document measurable changes in global consciousness metrics. Electromagnetic anomalies appear simultaneously worldwide. Dreams and visions of similar content are reported across diverse cultures. Children speak with unexpected wisdom about cosmic significance. Animals demonstrate unusual behavior patterns consistent with ancient descriptions of creation's response to divine presence. The spiritual awakening manifests physically in countless healings reported globally. Terminal conditions reverse inexplicably. Chronic pain vanishes. The boundary between physical and spiritual blurs as tangible effects manifest from intangible cause. Even electronic systems reflect the phenomenon. The prophetic fulfillment creates ripple effects throughout the fabric of existence, revealing interconnections previously hidden from perception. These signs speak a language more profound than words. The statistical impossibility of today's convergences eliminates coincidence as explanation. The mathematical precision of prophetic fulfillment defies random chance. The synchronistic alignment of geopolitical developments with ancient predictions demonstrates intelligent design behind human history. These signs reveal our moment's precise location in cosmic timeline. We stand at the nexus point prophets identified millennia ago. The convergence of celestial patterns creates heaven-earth alignment, visibly manifesting in Jerusalem today. Solar phenomena mirror descriptions in ancient texts. The ecological signs speak equally clearly. Species thought extinct reappear in Jerusalem's surrounding wilderness. The Dead Sea demonstrates unprecedented changes. The desert continues blossoming as specifically foretold by Isaiah. Agricultural anomalies produce harvests, defying scientific explanation. Weather patterns shift to match prophetic descriptions of the latter days. Seismic activity increases precisely along fault lines mentioned in ancient texts. Technological development reaches the exact threshold described as preceding cosmic transition. Information accessibility fulfills Daniel's prediction of knowledge increase. These signs collectively announce that time itself approaches transition point. This is not conclusion, but continuation. What unfolds today represents not ending, but beginning. Like birth contractions intensifying before new life emerges, these events herald greater reality approaching manifestation. The cosmic story continues unfolding according to design, more comprehensive than human understanding can fully grasp. Yet we recognize the patterns, sensing their trajectory toward ultimate restoration. The ancient promise extends beyond today's fulfillment. Abraham's covenant continues expanding through ever-widening circles of blessing. David's kingdom advances toward universal expression of divine justice and compassion. The prophetic vision extends past current manifestation toward complete healing of creation's brokenness. Jerusalem's current glory foreshadows greater transformation still approaching. The gathered witnesses become commissioned messengers, carrying this revelation to Earth's furthest reaches. This moment creates historical pivot point. Before and after will be measured against today's threshold crossing. We witness not culmination, but acceleration. The prophetic texts speak of this day, but also of what follows, the complete restoration still unfolding through progressive revelation of divine purpose. The global impact intensifies as awareness spreads. International news networks broadcast continuous coverage from Jerusalem. Social media platforms experience unprecedented traffic as footage circulates globally. Leaders from nations worldwide issue statements responding to these developments. Cultural differences dissolve before shared human response to transcendent reality. What happens in Jerusalem echoes across continents with immediacy previously impossible. Technology allows real-time participation regardless of geographical distance. Viewers from Arctic communities to African villages witness identical phenomena simultaneously. Political differences become temporarily irrelevant before cosmic perspective. Indigenous peoples recognize fulfillment of their own prophetic traditions, paralleling biblical narratives. Eastern spiritual traditions acknowledge alignment with their ancient predictions. Western secular society finds materialistic explanations inadequate for observable phenomena. The world watches not merely with curiosity, but with deep intuitive recognition. Something in human consciousness resonates with this moment. Global religious leaders issue joint statements despite theological differences. Scientific communities establish research initiatives to document unprecedented phenomena. Jerusalem becomes lens through which humanity glimpses cosmic purpose with unprecedented clarity. The prophetic journey continues beyond today's revelation. What we witness now sets foundation for further unfolding. The ancient scrolls speak of this day, but also of what follows. The fire that descended creates purification, preparing humanity for next phase of cosmic purpose. Those present carry responsibility as witnesses to generations following. Their testimony becomes cornerstone for communities preserving this knowledge. For prophecy reveals not only fulfillment, but pathway extending forward from each revelation. Jerusalem remains focal point for continued manifestation of divine purpose. Today marks not conclusion, but acceleration of prophetic timeline. What was partially hidden now emerges with increasing clarity. What was symbolic now manifests in tangible reality. The veil between worlds grows increasingly transparent as cosmic purpose advances toward culmination. Each fulfillment expands human consciousness to perceive more comprehensive dimensions of ultimate reality. The fire that descended today purifies perception itself, enabling recognition of truth previously obscured. We stand not at ending, but at beginning. Jerusalem's moment today creates foundation for Jerusalem's destiny tomorrow, in the continuing narrative of divine purpose intersecting human experience.